Hello, welcome. This is my summary on urban design. My name is Jeffrey Chinloy, and I hope you enjoy my presentation. An economic city. In terms of sustainability, Toronto is doing well, but it has some work to do. According to the Arcadis Sustainability Cities Index of 2018, Toronto ranks 30 overall out of 100. The scores are based on three sub-indexes: people, planet, and profit, which are closely aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, social, environmental, and economic factors that lines their Earth 3 model out. Toronto ranked well when it came to the planet sub-index, but failed to make the top 20 when it came to the other two. The report also classified Toronto within its Cluster 2 category of post-industrial opportunists, with 33 other cities, mostly from North America as well. These cities are all considered to deliver a good quality of life, but still have room for improvement. Given Toronto's geography and urban climate then, it made sense when Sidewalk Labs came from across the border in New York in 2017 to settle an office down in Toronto with the aim of reshaping the city's eastern waterfront. Sidewalk Labs was founded in 2015 by Alphabet Inc. as a sister branch of Google that focuses on innovative urban designs and solutions, promising a sustainable infrastructure that would lead to a promising future. They teamed up with Waterfront Toronto for a new type of public-private partnership where Sidewalk Labs would be more than a developer, but a partner alongside Waterfront Toronto and the three levels of government that go alongside creating a miniature city within a city. The Quayside project would supposedly create over 44,000 new jobs and help generate over $14 billion in annual revenue for the city by 2040. One of the primary features they are proposing to create would be a new digital system integration within public spaces and physical infrastructures, such as stormwater monitoring systems, soil sensors that monitor particulate levels, and greywater treatment systems for buildings. Their master plan was just recently submitted after 18 months of research and returned with amendments that Sidewalk Labs now needs to take into consideration before deciding to move on into the final planning stages. This gives time for the public to voice any concerns and offer any input over the project, which many have taken to recently, criticizing Sidewalk Labs' data collecting system that would come with the project, accumulating metadata from citizens on their activities and habits. Sidewalk Labs have denied these accusations, however, saying the information collected would be stored in an open data trust managed by Sidewalk Labs. An environmental city. In 2017, Penda, an Austrian-Chinese architectural firm headed by Austrian architect Chris Precht, collaborated with Canadian marketing strategy and branding professional Mark Stein to create Timber, TMBER, a mass timber company that specializes in creating cross-laminated timber, CLT. Together, Penda and Timber are proposing what is being called Tree Tower Toronto. This tower would be 18 stories high and draws inspiration from Mosh Safdie's Habitat 67 in Montreal, but instead of concrete, the tower would be framed in timber CLT, with small shrubbery and trees planted in each apartment balcony, promising a high-rise that integrates nature within an urban building design. Mr. Precht explains that our cities are an assembly of steel, concrete, and glass, and that a tower made of plants and wood would be an interesting contrast. The CLT wood would give a warm and natural appearance, and the plants would bring the building to life and become a model for environmental friendlier developments in our urban landscape. Cross-laminated timber is fast becoming a popular mass timber method. To create CLT, softwood timber boards that have been trimmed and kiln dried are glued on top of one another in perpendicular layers according to the Vox. Stacking these boards in layers can create large slabs up to a foot thick and as large as 18 feet long by 98 feet wide, though not many manufacturers can produce this girth right now. The durability of CLT is being compared to match or exceed the performance of concrete and steel too, as it is being used more and more in construction. The biggest sustainable benefit, however, lies in its upfront carbon emission footprint. Compared with steel and concrete, CLT has a much lower carbon impact, is much lighter, and also takes much quicker to assemble out of the three. Due to the prefabricated nature of CLT, creation of minimal waste is also a positive side effect. The main barrier CLT faces, however, is cost. The cost per square meter to create CLT is comparable to steel and concrete, and when reduced programs and on-site waste reduction is taken into account, the cost of building with CLT is similar to traditional construction for a 7 to 8 story building. The construction method that CLT also requires demands unique skills from a contractor compared to using traditional methods, as the CLT panels are all prefabricated and assembled off-site. Another drawback is that if there are any retrospective design changes, this results in wasted materials and costs, so everything does have to be precise and accurate the first time around. As more research and testing is done around CLT, it seems mass timber solutions seem to be a great sustainable solutions to incorporate in urban building design. A happy city. Cities are responsible for pumping out approximately 80% of humanity's greenhouse gas emissions. As each year passes, global populations swell and more people are moving to cities to the point where projected 68% of the world population are said to be going to live in urban areas by 2050, according to the UN. This shift is going to place a heavy burden on cities as they will have bigger impact on the environment as it expands. In fact, cities are said to be going to bear more than 3/4 of the cost to adapt to global warming. What are cities supposed to do then to combat the negative effects that they produce? We have to rethink who the city is built for. Enter Enrique Peñalosa, Mayor of Bogota, Colombia. Since 1998, Peñalosa has radicalized the urban design for his city by promising one thing: to make Bogotans happier. Peñalosa wanted to avoid the mistake rich cities made by offering his citizens a better quality of life, and it required everyone to let go of their belief of what cities are actually for. Peñalosa's thinking is that in order to fulfill needs to happiness, citizens need to be able to walk, be able around other people, they need beauty and contact with nature, require no exclusivity, and be able to feel equal with others. Bogota leading up to the end of the 20th century had left it deeply wounded, according to Peñalosa. It had been through constant civil and gang wars, privatization of public spaces and resources, and lived a very autocentric way of life. To combat this, Peñalosa scrapped the new highway plan and instead poured the budget into hundreds of miles of bike paths, chains of parks and pedestrian plazas, added a new network of libraries, schools, and daycare center, and added Bogota's first rapid transit system, using buses instead of trains. All of these aspects of urban life is something urban centers around the world need to look up to and aspire to be. By reshaping and reprogramming a city's infrastructure around its citizens' sustainability needs, a happy city can be attained by everyone in the end.